Hello everyone, this is G-Shock High Fashion Channel. Today I have another G-Shock unboxing or review video. This will be the first time I'll be making a video review on this vintage G-Shock actually. And this is the G-Shock GIEZ series. The reference number for the one I'm holding now is the GS-300-8A GIEZ. This model was released in Japan in several variations. If I'm not mistaken, there is like 56 variations of GIEZ series, and some of them looks totally different from the others. This will be the third generation if I'm not mistaken. The one I'm holding now indeed was released on September of 1999, which is very old, and it is in the used condition and also had been repainted back to make it look even better. If you guys could see that there's something change going on the watch band as well, and even on the glass display over there. Look, let me try to reflect the light a little bit. Look at that. There's slightly this two part over here. That part was have a scratch in there, so I tried to scratch them all up and able to remove the scratch, so it's barely visible. But if you reflect lights on this, you're gonna be able to see it. Look at that. And that one of the reason is that the glass on this is actually dome-like. So look at that. So it's actually popping upward just a little bit. So dome-like glass, which is very unique as well, and making the watch pretty expensive. And if I'm not mistaken, this guy was retailed at 29,000 yen, and I guess that justifies the price. The dome-like glass really makes the watch even tougher, and indeed, this hard case of this piece is made out of full titanium, so that's justify the high pricing. And I mean, the whole case is metal. The only resin part is just all around this part over here, just this two parts. You don't even need to use this resin part at this side actually. I mean, the watch is already tough enough, but yeah, why not just add a resin over here to make it blend a little bit better. Anyway, let's have a look on the profile from the side, since this is the first time I'm making this video as well. So we're looking at circle shaped buttons, both of them. I mean, looks like a convex style button, similar like the glass. Pretty big buttons actually. Let me show you guys a size comparison as well. Look at that. This is the standard button we got today. This will be the button on this piece. So that also justifies the price. We have the screw on the sides, also almost similar to the one that we got on a newer Master of G-Shock. Not this one. I have arrangement at the back here. Look at that. The type of screw that they use almost similar, but they are not the same. Which also this type of screw is, I believe, way more tougher than the standard screws. That gonna add way more toughness in here as well. Adjust mode 12 or 20 hour system. Light button will be down here, which is weird. But anyway, let me zoom in to show you the features. Another feature on the watch face as well. But look at the titanium over there. This part is titanium. And before I get to the watch face, I really need to highlight it again on how tough this watch actually feels. It almost have a similar feeling as you are holding the Frogman, because this metal part is popping out all the way to the front here. I mean, no other G-Shock have a similar build as this, I believe. I mean, lower end G-Shock, if that goes all the way to the front here. Only the Frogman have a build like this. I mean, this was really remind me of the Frogman right away, even though, I mean, this is the first time I hold one of these, and I'm already impressed, but I really need to have a look on the function first before I could make my decision. So we're looking at the watch face. We're gonna have a few things. This will be all the indexes that gonna reflect light, and I'm not sure if you guys can see that somehow, but it is very reflective indexes, 1, 2, 3 all the way around. And the arrow hand for the minutes gonna reflect lights as well. This hours in orange, reddish, pretty reflective as well, which is great. And the GIEZ logo over there, G-Shock in red. Casio anti-magnetic WR 200-meter water resistant, which is great. This result will be I believe the total time, stopwatch number 1 in kilometer speed, a lap reset starts lap number 2, whole stopwatch total. We have digital display to display two separate stopwatch that this model have. It almost reminds me of a racer or racing related type of G-Shock. So that's why I have a lot of this stopwatch function, and I believe almost similar as the 300 series that we got today, or a GA-110 as well. So imagine combining this and also this into a steel G-Shock. So you're gonna get this model over here. Anyway, get back to this piece. A lot of things I need to share to you guys, and let's have a look down here. We're looking at some code. Let's see if I could show it better. That's gonna be what, 811A1H74 Japan A. So you know this is a very old and rare G-Shock watch. The watch face, or the watch face, or should I say the faceplate, aren't very reflective. They look pretty matte and pretty dull in my opinion. They should have improved a little, such as making a sunburst or make it a lot better. I mean, they could make it better for some reason. I find it this too dull for the pricing. By the way, that's just me. I mean, that as far as the casing, it looks very simple. Only steel, only titanium and resin, simply made, but very sleek looking watch. Look at that. Look at how slim this thing is. And I haven't got to the watch band yet. Look at that. We also have the steel inserted type of watch band, similar to the, if I'm not mistaken, the GA-1100 or the GA-1000 series. The twin sensor gravity master model have these features. And on the vintage piece, this model have it GIEZ, and I believe the vintage all digital MRG also have this type of watch band. Looks very incredible. It looks like this part blend in together. However, this is two separate parts actually. Look at that. I love how they put steel there. It feels very tough. Sorry, I almost forgot. This part is titanium. It's not steel. Sorry, I always miss that part. Right, looking at the watch band, it's supposed to have a lot of scratches, but I already fixed this and repainted. You can see some imperfections on the painting job, but it get the job done and remove all the scratches. Same goes with the bottom layer as well. You can see a few texture at the bottom here, similar to the texture that we're gonna get from a GW200 series Frogman actually. Looking at this part of the watch band, the band keeper also shaped differently. They have a little bit of a slant part over here. Look at that. The bottom part is, I believe, similar, but compare this to a recent release G-Shock. Let me compare it just right away. Look at that. The shape is different. So you know from here that they don't just recycle other parts and just use it on here. And same goes with the watch band as well. I'm not sure if you guys noticed, the watch band actually have a little bit of slanted shape in square, not just plain square and sharp, you know. It looks totally different, but I somehow cover it up from the paint. It makes it pretty hard for me to show you, but just know it have those shape on there. And then looking at the buckle, we're looking at GIEZ, and very unique shape. Buckle feels really tough, and I believe this part is also titanium. Feels like titanium though, very solid looking and also solid feel. Castle Japan sign below, so you're gonna expect a higher quality build. I mean, it is made in Japan. I believe fully made in Japan. Let's have a look at the backplate now. Operates on 2301. I will cover the module on a separate video. I haven't explored it yet, and it seems like you have a bunch of functions, very complicated functions. So I already covered it on a separate video. The model number will be GS-300, titanium Japan K, water resistant 200 bar, and GIEZ logo up there. This is indeed a screw down backplate, which makes this watch very tough and way more neat and expensive or premium looking watch. Look at that, and you can see a lot of scratch on this as well, because this is indeed still tends to scratch, and I don't think I'm able to remove this scratch on the backplate over there. So let's have a look at overall shape profile of the watch. Alright, before I proceed, let's have a look on the function that this model have real quick, just a quick run through. We're looking at first mode at home time. We're looking at, of course, time in analog and digital, and we're gonna see day, date, and time in digital and also in analog. Press this mode button over here. We're looking at, this is sort of like a recall mode where you could view again the calculation that have been made from stopwatch mode. So that's they call it, if I'm not mistaken, the memory mode, something like that. But I'm gonna pass on this first. We're gonna store like 5 units of memory, so it's gonna have brackets over there, number 4. press mode, we'll go to the next one, which is the dual time. This is similar to most G-Shock actually, which also known as world time. The analog will show local time, the digital will show dual time, and any other city code. They don't specify any separate city. You need to set it by yourself and remember it by yourself which city code you are looking at. Press this mode, we're gonna have alarm, single alarm, and we're gonna have handset just in case the hours and minutes didn't match with this digital display, which is now looking at 9:47, and the analog is pointing at like 1:40 a.m. in the morning, like totally off. So I really need to set this thing up. I switched the battery after I fixed the engine, so I haven't do any setup at all. I think I'm gonna make us do that in that module demonstration video, but for now that's all the functions that you are going to get at the quick run through. And next we're looking at the EL on this piece. Each time you press it, it's gonna glow for about 4 seconds. The EL is in green, but you are barely able to see it. I mean, it's very dull, probably because the negative is too dark for some reason. But yeah, just know they have it EL. I guess I need to change the battery, but for now, yeah, do know they have it as well. If you press mode and hold it, you could enter the stopwatch mode. So this we'll call the double stopwatch. We have two types of stopwatch actually. Single stopwatch, which is similar to other stopwatch that we got on the G-Shock, and if I press this mode button again, it will go to a dual stopwatch mode, where both of these will operate as a stopwatch at the same time, which allow you to measure a lapse time for two moving objects simultaneously, which is very neat. And yeah, based on your activities, you're probably gonna need this. And now let's have a look on the sizing, just in case you can't imagine how small or how big this thing is. Let's have a look on the size of the casing from the biggest point. We're looking at 45 or to 46 millimeters casing, and looking at this part, the circle shape, we're looking at, the smaller part of the casing, we're looking at 40 millimeters of watch, which is pretty small, yeah, acceptably small. But let's have a look on the thickness at this higher point on the casing, on the bezel or the resin bezel, 15, which is pretty slim as well. So the lug-to-lug distance, I'm gonna measure from this two screw, just roughly measuring. So we're gonna looking at 42 millimeters, something like that. Yeah, 42 millimeters, which is not as big. And of course I need to show you how much or how heavy this thing is, because that's gonna determine how comfortable it is gonna be throughout the day when you're wearing this, or at the wrist check shot, which I'm going to do after this. Put the watch on here. So we're looking at 74 gram, which is pretty heavy. Feels heavy though. Let's have a look. So this one is 68, so this guy is heavier than the standard 6900 series, and I believe similar weight as this GA-110, right? Yeah, similar weight as the GA-110 we got today. So if you have one of these, you're gonna have a rough idea already what to expect. But the weight distribution on this is centered on this center part, so you're gonna feel this watch heavier than the GA-110 because it's focusing on this center metal parts only. The watch band is pretty lightweight. Yeah, I almost forgot. Before I go with the wrist check, I need to measure the size of the watch band as well. So we're looking at 24 millimeters roughly, 24 millimeters on this part. The sizing for the lug in there, I'm not sure if you guys could see it, but it's roughly about 18 millimeters. So if you have any other watch band from the same size, you're able to fit that in there as well. So just know that. The watch band indeed tapered, so let's measure the size at the end here. We're looking at about 18 millimeter size, and the thickness is pretty different as well. Look at that. On this part is about 4 millimeters, and the standard thickness of the watch band will be about 2 millimeters, which is pretty thick. Okay, down on the sizing for overall casing, the thickness for the watch, and also the watch band. Let's put it on and feels. How this thing gonna feel on my wrist? To be honest, I'm not a big fan of the G series. You saw me leave my comments on all of my thrift store visit video. You saw how much this thing gonna price you in used market in Japan. So it's not gonna be that cheap and not gonna be that expensive as well. I mean, indeed, you're still gonna get this in Japan at the thrift store, lower from the retail. Okay, now pricing aside, the fit is very nice. I have a 15 centimeter circumference wrist. You know, let me wear it all the way from to the top here, and it's giving me very nice fit. And one of the reasons, I believe, because I have a flat wrist. I know some of you guys have similar size, however you have a more rounded shaped wrist, so for those probably not gonna have the best fit as I'm now, because the watch indeed is very flat. So yeah, in my case, fits very nice, even though it's heavy, but I mean it looks very sleek. And it is indeed titanium. Titanium, you know right away, if you own a titanium G-Shock, this guy gonna last you almost forever, considering the electronics didn't broke, which most likely not, but yeah, it's gonna last you forever. Unlike if you own one of this model, this part tend to break, or the watch band tend to break, the hard case tend to break, the bezel tend to break. In the case of this watch, the watch band can be replaceable, of course, even though you still have these metal parts inserted in that, so not gonna be easily broken. The hard case definitely gonna break at all. It is titanium full all the way to the lug, so that's gonna last you almost forever. You can just use a nylon or NATO strap to replace the watch band, or even if these casing, the bezel here broke, it didn't actually matter in my opinion, because it barely does anything. It's just providing a tiny gap between the glass whenever you're gonna knock it out on the table also. And yeah, I guess that's about it. Very impressive build. It justified this 29,000 yen price. In this very rare, but you're still gonna be able to grab this from your Japan auction or eBay. There are several variations of this. This is the analog digital model. We have a full digital. We also have the full analog based on your preference. Yeah, just in case you find one of these, you're probably gonna need to consider getting one as well, especially if you are a big fan of vintage G-Shock. I guess that's about it. All the thoughts and opinion for a short while. I'll be adding more if I have more in the module demonstration video or other videos soon in the future. But for now, that is about it. Thank you very much for watching, guys. I really appreciate your support. Leave a like if it does help you, and also subscribe to see more contents like this in the future. Thank you very much for watching again. This is G-Shock High Fashion channel, and